We're already live. It's already done. Thank you, Colton. I appreciate the help. It was great. It was great. We have awesome news this week. I'm sure you guys know of at least some of it. There's been the crazy Battlefield controversy going on. Why do I keep saying Battlefield? The crazy Battlefront controversy going on with the most downvoted comment of all time on Reddit and all this other stuff. We're, of course, going to talk about that, but there's also some other crazy things too, like the Firefox hardware survey has some interesting nuggets of information for us that we're going to analyze later on, and...
Face ID hacked in the first week.
Bam!
Suck it, Apple. Oh, this is not good for anybody, except for the people who did it.
I guess, yeah.
And if you were watching last night, Tesla unveiled finally their semi-truck and a surprise, the second iteration of their Roadster, which was their original vehicle.
Yeah.
New fastest car ever.
Fastest production car of all time. Super epic intro. It's not started. There we go. Almost.
The Wang Show. What a jerk.
Zotac. Thank you. A 1 in 3 chance Zotac Z-Box system enter to win. Heck yeah. Mack Weldon, 20% off. iFixit. Protect Toolkit. Why not?
USD.
There we go. Bam. We're back. And just right into it with the Battlefront news, I think.
Let's do
it. Actually, I'm going to cut in slightly before this. Shameless self-promotion. Big charity stream happening tomorrow, 24 hours on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Luke_LAFR. Going at least 24 hours. I think it's supposed to be like 27 hours. Doing a whole bunch of different games, 1 game per hour, iterating every year, blah, 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 blah. Show
Insane,
up,
dude.
Help support Extra Life. It's going to be awesome. Okay, bye. Anyways, next topic.
Be there or be mean.
Or just enjoy your day in some other way. Battlefront. Crazy stuff happening. There was a post on Reddit. We're going to show it here right now. The Reddit post was talking about how it takes 40 hours to unlock a hero. They talk about a bunch of different stuff. The post has been updated a few times, actually been very well taken care of by the Hotter Potato. This has been nuts. If you've been on the internet this week, almost at all, even if you're not that into gaming, you have probably heard about this. There's huge controversies where countries like Belgium are considering classifying different games as gambling, online gambling, because of how loot boxes are being handled, because this post has gotten so big that it has gotten 2 people that manage laws in countries, which is pretty crazy. Congressmen are being contacted about this. Like, it's blown up to a ludicrous degree, which is good or bad, depending on your stance. Probably bad.
Let's start at the beginning.
Yeah, so the beginning is this post. And then what really blew it up is the developer responding, which usually makes things better. It super did not. I'm sure a lot of this is... same old from what you guys have heard.
So before we get into their response, why don't we outline what happened to begin with? It was basically everyone getting super duper mad because the new Star Wars Battlefront 2 game from EA, which is a flagship title that costs $80, also has heavily these pay-to-win game mechanics.
So how that kind of works, and I played in the beta and I started to feel it as well, is a lot of games have loot boxes. You've got Overwatch, where you get a bunch of different skins or portraits or whatever. Shadow of War had some issues here as well, where it could really help you with your gameplay, but I beat on the hardest difficulty without using any of them. That's not a brag. A lot of people did this. It's not that difficult of a game, and it's not that big of a deal. This is where it became a big problem. This is a multiplayer game, and they directly give you extremely powerful advantages against your enemy.
Not just aesthetic skins and stuff like that, like Overwatch.
No, yeah, like directly power. You are better. You do more damage. You regen more health. You have more health. You lock onto targets faster. You don't get locked onto as fast. These types of things.
But surely you can achieve those things from just playing the game and not spending money.
Yes, but it takes a ludicrous amount of time.
How much time?
I don't know the exact hours, but I think someone calculated it as like over 6 months. It's 40 hours to unlock a hero. Yeah. But there's other stuff as well. Like the hero, that's definitely part of it, and you can't get Vader without playing the game for 40 hours, which is ridiculous because most people aren't going to play the game for 40 hours.
Like single player. Or like just the game?
The game. It's how it's balanced is not based on skill, which is another thing that's pissing people off. If you do really, really well in a round and you kill a ton of people, you're not going to get that many more credits than someone who just played for the same amount of time that you did.
Okay.
Which is bugging a lot of people, which
sounds
makes
like good
sense.
money-making business practice.
Yeah, because you have to pour a huge amount of time in, like 40 hours, to unlock something like a hero. The part that bugs me even more than the hero part, the hero part is just, it hits that 40-hour number, so it's easily digestible.
Yeah, okay.
The cards, you get these different cards that you put on your character that give you different bonuses.
Okay.
Say you're playing the spaceship combat mode. I'm in a bomber, you're in a TIE fighter. I've spent a whole bunch of money on the game, just money man, tossing it all over the place. I have something that makes it so that I lock onto targets 200% faster.
Holy cow.
Also, my bombs do increase damage, and I move faster. You don't have any cards. You just started the game. You just launched up. You were just fighting another bomber. You're in a fighter. You were able to get away from him and get out. You're like, sick. Okay, I got this new move. I spin and list slightly to the left, and everything works out great. You try to do the same thing against me. I lock onto you 200% faster. You can't get out of the way.
Conked.
You're dead.
Yeah, okay.
That directly, strongly affected gameplay based on card advantages. Now, to get to the top, there's different tiers of these cards as well. To get to the top tier of cards, you kind of have to craft your way up. The easiest way to get crafting materials is loot boxes. The easiest way to craft your tier up to the top card is loot boxes. People who spend money will be directly better at online competitive modes because of this. And it's lots of money. If I remember correctly, if you want to unlock everything, like top tier of every card and all the heroes, it's like $2,100 or something. I'm saying that off the top of my head. I don't remember exactly.
But is that like even a realistic thing that anyone would want to do? Or realistically
That's the thing, yes.
Oh.
It absolutely is. If you look into the game industry right now, especially the mobile side, which are the guys that have been doing more of this kind of like loot box, pay to win mechanics, it hasn't been in a lot of full price games because that's ridiculous.
Well, that's the whole controversy. Like, do you think people would be as mad if this game was free to play?
No.
Like pay to win?
I don't think they'd be nearly as
because you
mad.
already paid $80.
Yeah. So what they're targeting is what's called in the gaming industry whales.
Right.
It's small amounts of people. I've heard people, I know PewDiePie in his videos said 10%. I doubt it's anywhere near that high. I'm going to go with 1% or lower of players will spend a ludicrous amount of money. These are the guys that will play a mobile game and just be like, I'm going to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars
Not an
just
exaggeration.
to wreck all of you.
Literally thousands. I spoke to, when I was traveling, I met some people from Silicon Valley who worked in the industry, and they said they had a very small percentage of users who had spent over $100,000 just on that mobile app.
Yeah.
Insane.
Absolutely nuts. And there are definitely lots of people that will spend that $2,100 to, on day one, have a huge advantage on everyone else. That
Why would
also
you even
makes
want
it.
that? You might as well like put in cheats. Like, is it really that fun to have God mode?
It's not quite God mode, but it is a noticeable advantage. And the biggest issue for me is it creates a concept in the game where when someone kills you, you can legitimately say that it was because of something that wasn't skill.
Yeah, you can lose and be like, overpowered, that's Imba. And
he just spent more money on the game, that's why he won, and you might not be wrong, which is ridiculous.
Why would you want to make a game like that?
In lots of games where you're like, oh, that gun's just overpowered, the response from pretty much everyone else is going to be like, hey, then use it.
Yeah,
or
right.
like find a way to counter it, get good, something like that. In this game, you could be like, he just spent more money, what can I do? And that's a legitimate stance. And that is ridiculous. That shouldn't be able to be a legitimate stance, but it has been made so by the developers. And it's ridiculous because of one of the statements that they said in this official post, which I'm going to jump back to here, which drives me absolutely insane. It drove the entire internet insane, and I'm sure you've all heard this, but where is it?
And you really mean that this is like a record-breaking
Oh, yeah,
post
record-breaking downvote. It says right now, negative 20.9 thousand. But it's way more than that. I don't know what happened. It must have been on a slope or auto-corrected curve, whatever. But I saw it personally at over 600,000, and I'm sure it was higher than that at some point in time. But yeah, let's see here. We'll continuously adjust our progression mechanics to give players a sense of accomplishment as they explore all of Battlefront 2. That has driven everyone nuts because the sense of accomplishment isn't skill. It's not doing better at the game gives you more credits. It's spending more time on the game gives you more credits. And you can just skip all of that and have a sense of freaking accomplishment by paying a whole bunch of money into the game and instantaneously being better than everyone, removing other people's sense of accomplishment by squishing on them with your cash because you bought better freaking cards or heroes or whatever.
The question I have is when you come into this as a noob who hasn't spent anything yet and you get absolutely demolished by someone who has, are you just going to put the game down and not play it anymore, or are you going to be motivated to spend? They're obviously banking on the latter, but what do you think? What do you think is actually going to happen for people?
I think it's going to be a little bit of both. If you have, this is the frustrating situation you have right here. If you have a group of friends, and some people are saying, yeah, I think it was a slightly different quote. I don't know if it was from a different post or this one has been edited or what, but I think it was slightly different. Anyways, if you have a group of friends that all play games together, you guys have been playing games together since high school or something, and 2 out of 6 of the friends start playing Battlefront.
All right.
You normally play a game all together, but these guys want to play Battlefront. They just bought it. Then maybe 1 or 2 more guys buy Battlefront because they were playing. Mm-hmm. The last 2 guys are going to cave because 4 out of 6 have it anyways. It's very easy if a couple people in a group start playing a game that everyone will eventually play it because everyone just wants to play together and it's something new and shiny. That's great. Now you're all playing together. But Jim and Larry don't have as much time. They spend more time at work. They're great gamers. They're great in your crew. You love having them there, but they don't have as much time. So to make up for the time, they're going to spend money on the game. Even though they're great gamers, they're top in score charts and everything, they could normally make up the time by getting more credits and just doing better in the game.
Doesn't matter.
In something like Counter-Strike, it doesn't matter at all because they don't care if they don't have the fancy skins. They still get the same freaking gun.
Yeah.
And something like Overwatch, it doesn't matter. They don't care if they don't look as cool. They have the same heroes. Everything's fine.
Or even in Destiny, they just scale it.
They just scale it. And in Destiny, there's loot boxes, sort of bright engrams, but they just give you aesthetic items, and it doesn't really matter. These are games where you can catch up through skill or catch up because there's nothing to catch up on. Mm-hmm. Instead of, oh, I'm going to catch up by spending money. That is my mechanic to catch up to rest.
I didn't realize there was this time issue. It's almost completely separate from the money issue.
Well, that's the big problem is...
They kind of work together. The money issue almost is like alleviates the time issue.
But
that's some sicko.
That's the
like,
mechanic,
no.
though. Yeah. So like the problem I have is because let's take a look at my brother. My brother works a lot and has crazy work hours because he drives truck for movie production companies. So they work to crazy hours of the night. Right. They work crazy long hours in general, and you usually get on for a specific show, and they want to film that entire show.
Right.
So for the duration of that show, you're working nutso amount of hours. If he wants to play a game like this, it's very likely that it would make logical sense. I'm not saying he's going to, I'm not saying he's not going to, but it would make logical sense for him to buy some boxes so that he can catch up to the rest of us that would be able to play more if we were playing this game. That makes sense for him. The problem is that the game is based around that. Yeah. And it is trying to push people to do that. If gaming companies start making money, they'll try to find ways that make more money.
Yeah, the time and money thing are mutually reinforcing.
Yeah.
The thing about, back to the question of like if you are more likely to just stop playing versus more likely to spend money in order to not get squashed, you already have this sunk cost of $80.
That's a big issue too. And like, oh,
if it was free, you could walk away.
Yeah. Oh, if I just spend 10 more bucks, I'll have more fun. But then it's gambling, which is another huge issue. So you spend 10 more bucks, and maybe you want to play the heavy class in the ground war game instead of the space game or whatever. You want to play, let's just go with the heavy class. And you don't get any of the cards that you want for the heavy class. You already spent your 10 bucks. It's gone. You didn't get any of the things
because the cards come out of loot boxes, and the loot boxes are random.
So it's gambling, because maybe now you have to spend more. You don't know. I like playing the bomber in the starfighting game thing. I played in the beta. I only want cards for the bomber. I play the bomber on both sides. I play the TIE bomber and I play the A-wing. If I don't get cards for the bomber, I'm just going to want more loot boxes. It's gambling. You can craft cards too. Yeah, and you can craft. Someone just in the chat just said you can craft cards too. Great. People who spend money in the game will be able to craft more cards because they'll have more materials from the other cards. And the more you play the game, if I played that spaceship combat game for enough time, I would eventually want to branch out of just fighting with the bomber ship. It's not necessarily true for everyone, or Y-wing, sorry. It's not necessarily true for A-wing's the little fast one, sorry. It's not necessarily true for everybody. But a lot of people, including myself, are going to want to branch out. Then they'll want cards for other things. Then you're running out of crafting materials. Then it costs $2,100 to get all of the cards in the game because now you actually enjoy the game because you spent $80 and it's the only game you bought this season, maybe. It's just frustrating because now that it's here, they're building the game around it. That's one thing that I actually defended Shadow of War with. is when playing Shadow of War, it didn't feel like they had built the game around the idea of the loot boxes. The loot boxes gave you money, they gave you some followers, but the entire game, it's like smashed in your face that there's these, no, not Shadow of War.
No,
it's smashed in your face that there are these orcs all over the place, and you just need to press the one button, and it actually ends the combat faster if you want to recruit them. So like the game gives you these orcs all the time. So it's not that big of a deal. I didn't mind it that much. It didn't feel like the game was designed around it. Battlefront absolutely Battlefront 2 feels like it was designed around the idea of the loot boxes instead of the other way around. Which is bad. This is very bad.
So we haven't even got to the news portion, which is the fact that after a brutal AMA where they just made everyone even more mad with their question dodging and brutal unsatisfactory answers, they made another determination, which was, for now, they're just going to turn off all of it. The ability to purchase crystals in-game will now be completely off. It's offline. And John told me that actually if you go to the interface where you go to buy these crystals, instead of just removing the button and not letting you go into that area, you can click the button and it brings you just like a random janky blank page. Maybe people on the chat can confirm or deny this, but
I haven't seen that. I don't have it. Someone in the chat said Luke won't be streaming Battlefront 2. Technically, I will be streaming Battlefront 2. I'll be streaming Battlefront 2 tomorrow. It'll just be the original one because I'm playing games throughout the years. So I don't remember what year the original Battlefront 2 came out in, but I'm playing it for that year. So it's going to be all pixelated and wonky and fun. So
fun. Most of all, fun.
There's no loot boxes. It's great. 2007 apparently. What? No.
Maybe.
It's not 2007.
So thing to note about them turning off this game mechanic for the buying is that they didn't remove it. They've just turned it off. And they say the ability to purchase crystals in-game will become available at a later date once EA has made changes to the game.
So it's funny because the internet seemed to lag here a little bit. It felt like if you pile everyone, which isn't fair, it's not fair, I understand. If you pile everyone on the internet into one little hive mind bubble, they read the first part, and then about an hour or two later, read the second part. Because the whole internet rejoiced, like, we did it, Reddit. We won. They took microtransactions out, accomplished. And then, like, starting about half an hour to an hour later, it started kind of bubbling up. And then by 2 hours later, it had past posts about the original happiness that, oh my goodness, they're just putting the microtransactions back in the game.
And they called it the wait what-ening.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like it's frustrating because this is so transparent. They're trying to get this huge wave of people that are refunding the game like me to rebuy it, play it long enough that now they're invested. Maybe they have a group of friends that play, or I don't know how the Great Game Guarantee works on Origin. I know that I played for 0 hours, so I was or 0 minutes, 0 seconds, whatever. So I was able to.
So they're going to wait till that expires.
I think so, but I don't know if that matters. I don't know how the Great Game Guarantee works, but they're going to wait till people are kind of stuck in it or can't refund it or whatever, and then they'll put microtransactions back in. They'll make their money off their whales and they'll move on.
I'm sure that the microtransactions, I'm sure it's going to be, they're going to adjust it so you don't have to do so much work. The disparity won't be so huge.
Okay, there was a huge issue there as well. Did you hear about this? So they reduced the cost of heroes, but then they reduced the amount of credits that you get.
That's right. So they basically just, it was the same.
Basically, they did 2 different moves that were both two-faced.
Non-moves.
Yeah. They were like, hey, we reduced the cost of heroes. By the way, we also reduced the amount of credits you get. Don't worry about it.
Right. So,
and then they're like, hey, we removed microtransactions to the game. By the way, they're also coming back. Don't worry about it.
So it was like a hero used to be $1,000, but you start with $100. Now a hero is only $100, but you start with $10.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying?
It's ridiculous. Yeah, essentially.
So I guess this controversy just got so bad that they were actually afraid of losing their launch day sales, like that upfront $80.
Yes.
That was going to get so heavily eroded that they're like, okay, we can't sacrifice that.
And I wonder at some point, because like a lot of these moves are so dense. like sense of accomplishment when you're answering a post which its title is "It takes 40 hours to unlock a hero," and you can just buy it. Like, that's so obviously not the right way to respond to that. I seriously wonder, at some degree, if this isn't just any press is good press. Because now every single gamer definitely knows about Battlefront. Every single mom and dad knows Battlefront is around.
Nah, this is too bad.
Too bad?
It's too bad. Usually when companies take that strategy on, they only alienate people who weren't going to get their product anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Someone in the chat, Oni Hikaje, I think, I probably butchered that name, I'm sorry, said Disney CEO literally called up the EA CEO and told them to remove the option to pay for loot boxes because Disney started getting crap for purchasing, which is mechanics towards children. I haven't seen anything about that at all.
If Iger did that, it'd be pretty badass. Or he's just like looking out for a bro. He's like, yo, this is not going well for us. Don't do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that, but it is pretty brutal. There are people who have been posting examples of like the Disney Star Wars XD shows, the animated ones, where it's like a show about how gambling is bad based in the Star Wars universe. It's like a part of the Star Wars show, I think it's Rebels, and it's about how gambling is bad. And then they have a Star Wars game that has gambling in it. And you can say as much as you want, like, this isn't a kid's game. Kids are gonna play it. Like, our generation, we played, I'm assuming you did as well,
Grand Theft Auto.
Shooter games pretty early.
Bring it on.
Grand Theft Auto was one of the ones that my parents were like, I played it a little bit at like friends' houses and they knew and they didn't care, but like Halo, I was in there pretty early on. Counter-Strike, I was in there quite early on.
Oh, it was anything goes when I grew up. Big time.
And then like the thing is, now it's our generation and a little bit above that are starting to have, well, a fair bit above, I guess, that are starting to have kids at these ages that where you're talking about where they might watch something like Disney XD. You think our generation that grew up with like shooter games is going to care too much if someone plays Battlefront? Which is like pretty innocent for a shooter game.
Oh yeah, like can you chop people up with your lightsaber? Humans, not just robots.
I think it goes through them. I don't think they split in half. They just like fall over.
Yeah, because like ever since I was 8, I've wanted to be able to just totally dismember people with charred remains.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I could be wrong on that.
So if you can't do that, then like that's vanilla. That's vanilla.
But like I don't know. Kids are absolutely going to be playing this game. It doesn't matter that it's ESR, B rated, whatever. I don't even know what it is. Might be M. I don't know what they are. I don't look at them.
There's no way it's M.
What is the normal rating? Teen. Okay, that makes sense. Teen, whatever. Kids are definitely going to be playing it. And gambling's in it. And like a gambling mechanic that makes you better at the game is in it. And that's bad. Because kids always want to be better. There's always that kid in your school that was like, my shoes make me run faster. Now there's going to be some kid being like, I have a better card for my ship. I'm better than you.
Yeah, I could see kids at school being like, you suck at Battlefront because you're a scrub.
Yeah.
I bet they don't say scrub anymore. But, they should bring it back because it's retro AF and it's pretty cool as far as I'm concerned.
Laser James thinks you should bring scrub back. Yeah, I know we've talked about this topic for a long time, but it is pretty important.
We can get on with it, though. We're pretty done, aren't we?
Yeah, I guess I'll talk about like the aftermath and kind of what to do and stuff. So a lot of people have been bringing this to local representatives because they're trying to get loot boxes and games classified as gambling. I do think personally that something needs to happen. I'm a little bit worried about how far seeing things in games as gambling could go, because like randomized loot off of a monster that you have to farm by spending more time in the game where a game is subscription based might be seen as gambling.
Slippery slope.
So it depends where it ends, but something needs to happen. And loot boxes are just horrible. So maybe contact your local authorities to some degree.
Well, I can tell you the language that the Belgium Commission was using. So the Belgian Gambling Commission is investigating Battlefront because of the loot boxes, and what they said was loot crates that you purchase without knowing what's inside can be considered gambling because your ability to succeed in the game is dependent on chance, and therefore it's a game of chance. And if it's a game of chance, then you need a permit.
So if that individual item is purchased and it's a random chance. That's a good way to define it, because I don't want to screw with like random chance that is inherently built within games.
Well, I think that the emphasis here, that in my interpretation anyway, is that your success in the game really depends on it.
Yeah, see that anyway. This is probably not a conversation to bother have on WAN Show, but that's where like if you get a legendary item in World of Warcraft, your success in the game could be based around getting that.
It affects your success for sure,
yeah. But it's not a loot crate, and it's a totally different style of system, and blah 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 blah. It should be pretty easy to divide between. I don't think it's actually going to be a problem. So let's move on.
Tough topic.
Yeah.
How about that Face ID, that iPhone X?
Yeah, let's jump to that.
Yeah.
Oh.
They did it.
So how did it happen exactly?
It's so awesome. If you bring up the pictures of this mask, there's actually a YouTube video. You can play the YouTube video just with the sound off. It has subtitles anyway. Yeah, it's one of the sources.
What the
here.
heck? Okay, I'm gonna show.
Security researchers in Vietnam have cracked Apple's new Face ID using a composite mask consisting of a silicone nose, literally paper cutout 2D eyes, mounted on a plastic frame that they 3D printed.
Okay,
this is no good.
This is not it?
Well, there's like a 2-minute video of them doing it.
Yeah, this is 51 minutes. I was like, maybe I can find the right
I think it's
spot.
linked from the forum thread.
Okay, give me a sec.
So the caveat here is, like, even though this mask only took $50 to make, they did have to actually scan the victim's face with like a face scanner. So that's kind of integral to it. But other than that, the eyes were actually just printed out paper, and it's a simple silicone nose.
Getting a scan of someone's face is going to be not that easy. What did they have to scan it with?
They used a handheld, like, dedicated scanner, but they say that
like a depth scanner?
Yeah, in the future, you might be able to use one of those just like cell phone ones.
Yeah.
Or even just construct the image with images. Like, just use images to make the model.
Yeah, okay. Because if you could be, like, sitting across the table at dinner with someone, and I'm just texting
on the bus or like anything.
and inadvertently get someone's.
You have to go around them though, right?
Yeah, so but not that far, because they just have the white meshing on most of the sides. So he just used that thing to unlock. Like, if you look at it, the sides of the face.
I might show the front at some point here, but there's a couple things about this. Number one is it's hilarious because at launch, Apple said that it worked with professional mask makers and makeup artists in Hollywood to make sure that masks couldn't be used to hack Face ID.
And these like random dudes have already done it with something that doesn't look all that professional.
Well, that's the other thing, is especially the eyes. It's literally just printed out in like his face, a picture of his face. They cut out the eyes from that picture and put it onto this like mannequin head.
That's wild.
And the reason that's especially interesting is because people thought from the patents that Apple took out that eye movement factored in to Face ID, but this would suggest otherwise. And if eye movement doesn't factor into Face ID, then that means that you can use potentially someone who's unconscious, knocked out, or even dead to unlock a phone, which is pretty scary. Even the touch, what do they call that?
Touch ID.
Huh.
Yeah.
Even
they're super creative.
Even Touch ID, which Apple claims is like an order of magnitude less secure than Face ID. Even that one, it sensed like the heat of your thumb. So if you'd been dead for more than like a couple hours or a day, they couldn't unlock your phone with your body.
Yeah, you can do that slightly artificially by like external heating and all this other junk, but like it's not that easy. It's a lot harder than just like done. You know what I mean? Like there's always going to be a way to get through some form of security. Nothing is 100% secure, but like it's kind of sad that this has already been done. And it's kind of it's interesting because cameras on stuff like phones are constantly getting better, and they're constantly starting to implement things like depth scanning and all this other stuff. So we're going to get closer and closer progressively to breaking through this being easier and easier. The security on this gets worse over time unless they're actively improving it. And
it does improve. It does improve itself
as you use it more and more.
Yeah, like I've heard of people being locked out when they put their glasses on, and it hadn't.
Yeah.
When they did the initial scan, they weren't wearing glasses, or their hair wasn't in their face. So then it locks you out. You enter your code, and when you enter your code, it's like, oh, the model that we just took, like you with glasses on, we're gonna add that to the model now. So that's
just annoying.
That's expanding the model, but it's not necessarily making it more secure.
The having hair in your face and stuff is just annoying. I don't want to deal with any of that
because it gets in your eyes. And
well, no. Good call. But with Touch ID, if I just with mine, it's not Touch ID, but I have a fingerprint sensor on the back. Doesn't matter what situation I'm in. I could be completely covered in mud. If I just wipe my finger off real quick and go burp, I get in my phone.
Yeah, well, you still got the passcode.
And that. But it's just I don't know.
But it's pretty sick that
I can't even remember the last time I used a passcode.
That's still an action that you're taking, right? You're deciding. Granted that it's muscle memory that you do automatically after a while.
Yeah.
You're still taking an action to unlock your phone, whereas Apple is pursuing a time when
you just kind of go
you don't even do that. You're just look at by the time you look at your phone, it's unlocked. That's sick.
So they're trying to get there, I guess.
They should be aspiring to that. That's because that's optimal use case, as long as it's secure.
It's not there yet, though.
Evidently.
It's slower than Touch ID, which is frustrating. Fingerprint is pretty insecure, though. Yeah, it has a lot of issues, too.
It's 1 in 50,000 or something like that?
Yeah, it's I don't know. There's a bunch of problems with their methodologies here, so the story is absurdly short-sighted.
Is there, though? Because some people were saying that it's possible that when they registered their face, they had their face obscured or something like that, or tried to make their face kind of more like the mask, so that they were more similar.
Yeah.
But there's no way to verify that. But the researchers did say that they made 4 other masks that didn't work, and once those ones failed, they re-registered their face on the Face ID, and that after registering their face, they didn't do any passcode entries to update it. That's what they say.
Yeah, I don't know. If nothing else, all I really want this to stand for is to reinforce that anything can be broken into. No one should ever consider anything absolutely secure. This might be better. I don't necessarily think it's easier. When I always use my phone when it's in my hand. I never go I'm gonna look at it while it's on the table.
Well, Linus does that. We talked about this once, and he was he hated that the fingerprint things were on the back because he often wants to just unlock it when it's on the table and look at it.
He's told me that. I don't do that.
I just heard a lot of boo hoo hoo when I heard that.
Yeah.
That doesn't apply to me.
Whatever.
I don't care about that.
Doesn't apply to me either. So and it's become a natural part of picking up the phone to unlock it. So
it's usually unlocked by the time you get to it.
Yeah, so the speed thing doesn't help for me personally, and Face ID is slower.
Ed's over there mad because he's an Apple user and he just doesn't know what it's like to have that fingerprint reader on the back.
Do you have a 10?
Gravy, baby.
What?
Do you have a 10? No?
I wish.
You wish?
It's the perfect phone.
He says it's the perfect phone.
It's probably the pinnacle of phone technology. I don't think anyone's going to make anything better after this.
Even Apple. Yeah, maybe.
This is the end.
Maybe it is the end.
I don't know if you guys can hear that, but just in case any of you missed it, that was sarcasm. It's a fantastic tool. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't like it for a lot of reasons personally, but if you do like it, that's great. Run with it. Do whatever you want. Personal preferences are awesome. Just do know that nothing is completely secure.
We should also mention that the fact that you can scan someone's face and then make a mask and unlock their phone, that's espionage level hacking.
This is
more likely
serious.
they're just gonna run by you and grab it, or grab it and then chokehold you and make your face look at it and then run away, or steal your phone and go, hey, is this your phone? And then you look at it, yeah, it is, and then they run. Thanks.
That would actually work way too well.
That's pretty good, eh? If a guy with a balaclava comes up to you and says, is this your phone?
Is this your phone?
Go,
Don't.
no! Turn it over!
So everyone's going to have to carry around masks so that
Yeah.
if they have to chase someone who steals their phone, they can put the mask on.
The solution to this is more masks.
Yes. Yeah. Take those laws away that we can't wear masks. Everyone has to wear masks so that when they go to unlock their phone, they just go, huh, and then put it back down.
Yeah, it just occurred to me that there's going to be people in the Middle East who want to use Face Unlock. Do they just not use Face Unlock? Do they just only use it at home, use a passport,
Or just use the passcode.
in public? Yeah. Never thought of that.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Anyways,
Last
okay.
night I got to watch this awesome live stream of Elon Musk. It can't be Elon.
Did you really say Ellen? What?
Elon Musk DeGeneres. They had a child together and they hyphenated the last name.
That hurt physically. Oh, I need a moment. Anyways, okay, so
No, I was saying no, it's Elon.
Yeah.
They finally unveiled the semi-truck,
Yes.
which I think is pretty BA. The question on everyone's mind is, when and where are you going to be able to make these things, given that you're struggling so hard to produce the Model 3 for the next 2 years, and you're spending $1 billion per quarter on doing that? You can't just build another gigafactory. Apparently, they're going to start shipping, or not shipping, they're going to start producing the semi-truck in 2019.
Yeah.
And the new Roadster, which is going to be the fastest production car by acceleration in the world, that's 2020.
Yeah. So things could happen before 2020 and change that claim. But as of right now, it theoretically is, which is really cool. There's a lot of really awesome things about the truck, but there are concerns, like you just said. How are you going to make this? I do know their production lines are constantly increasing, so maybe a theory somewhere says that they'll be able to actually make them properly by 2019. Maybe one will be made in 2019.
Are they making 2 more gigafactories as well? Is that the plan?
They're constantly expanding. So I can't claim to know what is going to happen in terms of their production line.
Semi-truck itself is pretty dope, though. Did you check it out?
It looks cool. It looks pretty cool, and I've been saying for quite a long time that semi-trucks and trucks in general are going to be super important for Tesla, because trucks, things that need huge amounts of torque, are going to benefit from electric engines a ton. Now, there are some issues. Coming from the trucking industry, like my grandfather, his job actually for basically ever was financing semi-trucks for people and companies that wanted to get into trucking. So a super important detail is cost per kilometer or cost per mile, and they talked about that in the stream. That was a direct call out for companies and financial institutions that finance these semi-trucks, because they're extremely expensive. That was a direct, hey, look at us. It's going to be easier to get loans because you can throw this number, which is one of the most important numbers when you're buying a truck. That is, it is cheaper per kilometer. You can also throw in numbers like the truck is guaranteed for whatever amount of distance if you have a breakdown. It's some ridiculous number.
What was that? If you have
Is
a
it in
break.
here?
Oh yeah, what happened was it's got 4 separate independent engines, and 2 of them
Yeah.
can break down, and you can still go 400 miles or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not in this document.
Okay.
By the way, speaking of price, they did not mention an absolute price at all. They only mentioned price per mile, which they put at 20% cheaper. Again, it was only relative. 20% cheaper than a comparable diesel truck.
It includes the cost of the...
They're not just talking about the truck. They're
Yeah.
talking about the entire thing, buying it and insurance
includes
and
the cost
operating
of
it
the-
and,
yeah.
and maintenance. So
Yeah. Maintenance is going to be a big reason why that number is lower.
yeah, big
Just
time.
going to put that out there right now. Another huge issue, only goes 500 miles on one charge. The only there is probably not properly placed. Someone in chat said only. Most trucking routes are able to be there and back within that time, and truckers are mandated to take breaks. That is a huge deal in, I know, North America. I don't know outside of that. You have to take breaks, and that is within the amount of distance that you would be able to reasonably travel within one of your breaks easily. Your break has to be half an hour. During the break, it can charge for 500 miles of further distance, or 400 miles of further distance during that break, and you'd be able to keep going. That's not really a major point, as long as they actually have I think they're called supercharging stations.
I think actually he dropped Megacharger.
Megacharger, yeah, Megacharging
Sounds like it's
stations.
going to be a separate kind of network. I'm thinking of it kind of the same way you drive by a card lock gas station.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
that's
yeah.
for semis.
Yeah,
It's going to
yeah.
have to be like that.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was kind of its own thing.
So a typical diesel truck can go 1,000 miles on a full tank. Do you know how long it takes to fill up that tank when you're
I
standing
think
there
it's
filling it up?
I think he said 15 minutes.
No, I'm talking about like a normal diesel truck.
Oh.
It'll take a while
no,
to
I have no
fill
idea.
that puppy up. A few minutes.
I assume it would take a little while. It's going to take longer to charge this truck. But one of his points was that you don't have to stand there the whole time, I guess. It is definitely going to take longer to charge it, but I don't think there's going to be a bunch of truck drivers leaning against their truck while it sips electricity or gulps, I guess, electricity from,
Chugs it.
from the network.
We also talked about a guaranteed price for semi-trucks at 7 cents per, what unit would that be, kilowatt?
I don't remember exactly what
Not
they
megawatt.
used. Is that also in
Must
here?
be kilowatt. That's not on the document either, but he did.
Okay.
He had a guaranteed price.
Which is a big deal. Also a big deal in terms of getting financial support for trucks. One big question that I'm sure, okay, I haven't seen anyone ask it, but I am absolutely certain someone has, and I haven't looked, so that's kind of an issue that I haven't looked for it. But a big problem is going to be weight. They didn't talk about it on the stream. There's a lot of weighing stations for trucks because roads can only support a certain amount of weight, and the batteries are going to weigh a lot.
I did see this. Yeah, I
Okay,
think
so okay.
naked it is going to be heavier than a naked normal diesel truck.
I think that's going to be a big issue. There's weighing stations like all over the place.
They did not address that. Did you see the cockpit design?
Yeah, so it's 500 miles with 32.2 tons of cargo, so at max capacity.
Is that the heaviest class? A lot of the
It might
stats he
be.
gave out were for the heaviest class of truck, like the speed and the range and everything. So
The lack of engine might compensate for that. Yeah, but like if you look at the Model S, it's actually a pretty heavy car because the battery and all that other stuff.
you have to do more than look at it. You probably have to try to lift it.
Apparently, weigh stations are for trailer load and balance, not total load. Oh. Okay.
We just got everyone, all kinds in that
Now
traffic.
someone said weigh stations are for total weight. Who knows? It wasn't addressed in the stream, and it made me worry a little bit, but this will be huge. Another big thing that they brought up was convoy mode. This isn't the first time we've seen convoy mode. I've been in a car that was doing convoy mode before.
You've been in a convoy.
Convoy. But essentially, the cost per mile or per kilometer goes down drastically when you have these trucks in convoy mode. I don't think he went over it in exhaustive detail, but I believe because they talk to each other and they can run really closely together, drafting very efficiently on
Okay,
each
so
other.
I didn't hear this from the stream last night, but it was in the article I read today.
Okay.
They said that in convoy, the reason convoy mode is so much cheaper. In fact, Musk said it was cheaper than rail.
Yes,
Was
apparently.
because
But he didn't show the rail number. Which,
you only need a driver in the front truck.
okay, yes. That's a thing.
Is that-
they even
that's-
showed it in the animation. There was a person in the front truck. There's no people in the
Okay.
ones following it. That was a very important note.
That's crazy.
But is that so? Did they bake in the cost of the driver?
Definitely, they must have. Otherwise, that doesn't matter.
So, but I mean, in the initial Tesla Semi versus diesel Semi comparison, was the cost of the driver?
No. I don't think so.
Because in the second number, when he said in convoy mode, he was comparing those against the other ones, not against train, and he said it was like 80 cents or something.
I would think at that comparison, I mean, like, it's a company. They're gonna make their numbers look as good as they can. I would assume that they'd be like, yeah, but it's like, 2/3 cheaper because there's only one driver involved, and that is a realistic consideration if you're dispatching these trucks.
Mostly, I think. I wonder how they're going to accomplish this because convoy mode makes sense for highways, which is what they showed it on. But the
seems
second
like
you get to a city,
exactly, you're not gonna be able to convoy for the entire trip.
yeah.
You're gonna have to turn off
So
at some
what
point.
do you
right?
do for the rest of the drivers?
Well, they are getting their enhanced autopilot
I missed this. Maybe Twitch chat knows what's going on. Enhanced autopilot's there, definitely.
for all of them.
Yeah.
And if this is like 1 to 2 years out, maybe it'll be even better by then. Then there's
Elon did not avoid talking about autopilot. He brought it up directly in the stream. He said that they would have all their most modern.
Yeah, that's true, but he didn't say that. He may not have. What they're saying doesn't address our question of whether or not he said that about convoy mode. Elon did say that they're all going to get enhanced autopilot for sure.
Yeah. Well, in the video, there isn't drivers in the in the trucks behind the first one.
Okay, I didn't notice that, so
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Does it have air brakes?
Oh, it has the. He did talk about braking a bit because it's
never
got
have to
it has the
replace
regenerative braking. So I was actually at a Tesla dealership the other day, and I was asking if with the regenerative braking, can you coast just as well as you can? Because me, when I'm driving, I actually coast quite a bit.
Yeah.
And he told me, as a person who's never driven a Tesla, he said actually you can't really coast worth a crap when the regenerative braking's on. It slows you down like pretty fast.
Yeah.
But the upside of that is you like barely ever have to use your
almost
brake
never
pads,
need to brake, yeah.
which is what he said here. He didn't say anything about air brakes.
Would that even work? I don't have a very good understanding of how semi-trucks work, but I don't think it would work. Anyways,
What about that Roadster though?
the Roadster. Yeah, I guess we can move on to that.
At the end of the whole semi-truck thing, it was kind of like a one more thing moment.
Yeah.
And they popped open the hatch, and a new Tesla Roadster drove out of the back of the trailer that the semi-truck was towing.
Can do 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds. It can do 0 to 100 in, I believe, 4.9. I don't see that on here.
I
but
didn't see that, but I do have a list of linked a Wikipedia of the fastest 0-second speeds, and I was like, oh, I wonder if
just
they
0 to
like
60.
killed some records from other like super expensive cars. Well, they kind of just beat their own record.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's awesome.
It can go 620 miles or 1,000 kilometers on a single charge. He was happy because they broke the 1,000-kilometer ceiling, which is pretty cool.
And it seats 4.
Production starts. Yeah, it's a 2+2. Production starts in 2020. The first 1,000 cars will cost $250,000 each, paid in full upfront. Whoo!
With later cars starting at $200,000. So presumably the first 1,000 they're going to sell. They're going to be the tricked out ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense. I love this quote.
Man.
Elon said, and his stuttering is removed from this quote.
Come on. Come on.
He said the point of doing this is just to give a hardcore smackdown to gasoline cars. Driving a gasoline sports car is going to feel like a steam engine with a side of quiche. That's wicked.
That was pretty funny. We'll just take the voice crack out of when people quote yours. Harsh.
Okay, I deserve some harshness. I love Elon.
I was just kidding. Anyways.
He speaks that way because he uses particular language.
He's very careful about his words. Anyways, moving on to someone in the chat guessed it. Sponsors, maybe. Thank you very much. Heck yeah. iFixit.
Someone in the chat
you.
is like, I love ads. Please.
Please make them show up. iFixit. This $59.95 ProTech Toolkit. It's awesome. It's a 64-bit driver kit, which is easily my favorite part and probably the mainstay feature of someone took the driver.
That's how good it
is. That awesome. Yeah. It has a ton of other stuff in it as well, including little tweezers and pry tools and anti-static strap, and
Which we use here all the time.
yeah, and suction cups for taking screens off of things, which is a major issue with very specific devices. ESD safe tweezers even, I forgot to mention that part. Also, if you just want some awesome free guides on how to fix things, which does include the use of their kit, you can just go to iFixit.com. They have 25,000 free repair guides for devices. They also do repairability scores. So if you're interested in buying something, you can check into how repairable it is so you know if it's going to have a long life, because you yourself are going to be able to fix it, which is actually really cool.
They're like their own movement.
Sort of,
They're
actually.
like a culture.
Bringing repairability and craftsman traits back to society, because it's kind of faltered a little bit lately. Anyways, moving on. iFixit.com/Linus. Get your ProTech Toolkit now for $59.95 USD. Moving on. Mack Weldon. I am wearing a Mack Weldon shirt.
Damn, that's a good shirt. I wish my shirt that's not Mack Weldon had a front pocket that I can hang these in.
I could. Now they're on the floor. Anyways, Mack Weldon believes in smart design, premium fabrics, and simple shopping, which is great. It is quite a simple shopping experience, which is not too bad. Mack Weldon will be the most comfortable underwear, socks, shirts, undershirts, hoodies, and sweatpants that you will ever wear. Wow, what a claim.
Even if you're not a nudist and you do wear other stuff,
Yeah.
this will still be better.
Yeah. They want you to be comfortable, so if you don't like your first pair, you can keep it and they will still refund you, no questions asked, which is pretty major for a claim to be made from a company. You can try it out, no big deal. which is probably fair because you probably don't want to send your underwear back because that would sort of be weird. Go to MackWeldon.com, get 20% off using promo code TechTips, and get some clothing today. Moving on, Zotac giveaway. I'm gonna get you to Vanna White this box. There you go. Our holiday giveaway with Zotac is still happening. We announced this on the WAN show a little bit ago, just in case you didn't know. They're giving away 3 different models of their ZBox Mini PCs. One of them is the PI225. It is a desktop performance and mobile flexibility crammed into a PC the size of a 2.5-inch SSD. It is tiny. This thing is absolutely miniature. Really cool.
There's a computer in this box?
In that one, yes. That is not the tiny one that I'm talking about. That's more like gaming focus. VR ready sticker.
There's a gaming ready, VR ready computer in this box?
Yes, sir. Yes, Laser James.
Ladies and James.
I meant to say Laser James, my bad.
Ladies and James, there is a computer in this box.
It has a whole bunch of great features, which is absolutely fantastic. Moving on, we have the MI553, great for multi-purpose utility kind of setups. And then we have the ZBox, I believe it's this one, yes, EN1070K-U.
How is it that this is more BA than consoles and smaller?
Oh, owned.
Get it together, consoles.
Oh, owned. There's a Core i5 7500T. It has an NVIDIA GTX 1060 or GTX 1070, in turn, depending on which configuration you select. It's great. The ZBox giveaway is at a little bit of a funky link. I didn't click on the right thing. Here we go. The ZBox giveaway is on a little bit of a funky link, which I will try to post in the Twitch chat right now. Oh, is this going to be a
Why
problem?
get an Xbox when you can have
It is going to be a problem.
a Z-box?
If you want to enter the giveaway, check out gleam.io/wow, msfdx/zotac-zbox-mini-pc-giveaway, and you can enter there, or check out on YouTube. It'll be in the description below the video.
It is just that easy.
That'll be a lot easier to grab there.
Oh my god.
Let me see if I can just get into the Twitch chat here.
There's all sorts of stuff in here.
Tons of things.
It's even smaller than the box it's in.
It's like a computer. I would hope. That would be good. Okay, this is gonna work. All right, link coming. Hold on.
That's really
Boom,
yellow.
boom, 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 boom. There you go.
Booyah!
Twitch chat, you have the link now.
I can't close this anymore.
It's in the chat.
We're just gonna put this down.
You guys are good. Moving on. Yes, here, I'll take it. Thank you.
Thank you.
You did a great job with your Vanna Whiting. I appreciate it. Moving
I was
on.
a verb.
You were a verb?
Yeah, she's a verb now.
Man, I just want to Laser James right now.
Yeah, so I was laser dreaming last night.
Anyways, back to basically sponsor spots. Floatplane, bunch of cool stuff. We have a tech wiki on how stealth technology works, which is sick.
I'm gonna watch that one.
That's actually pretty cool. We have a video on the OnePlus 5T. We have a hands-on for that, which is pretty neat. We have a video that I hosted. Whoa, what? That's weird. It's the Xbox One X versus PS4 Pro versus $500 PC. Results may surprise you.
Oh, I gotta watch that one too.
It's interesting. It's everyone's response to it is exactly what I expected.
Nice.
Yeah.
Everyone who's on Floatplane.
Everyone
not
who's
like
on Floatplane.
YouTube peasants.
It will be coming to YouTube later, but it's on Floatplane now.
Yeah, and it's
which is
Friday, so
cool.
what are you gonna do all weekend? You don't have stuff to do.
Unless you're coming
Unless you're a Floatplaner.
or coming to my charity stream
Oh yeah, true.
and are a Floatplaner.
Oh, I got so much stuff to
What
do.
a double combo. Tech Wiki on Powerline Ethernet, which is actually super interesting. Powerline Ethernet is weird. It's internet that goes through your power lines. Sort of makes sense.
I don't even know what that is, let alone how it works.
It's pretty neato.
The opportunities for education are immense.
It's amazing! Tons of really cool videos. Razorblade 4K review. I don't think that's on YouTube yet. And that has probably one of the best skits in a video we've ever done.
Oh, is that the
Yeah.
the one
The
with me when I'm in this coat? No, that was a phone.
I don't think it's that.
All right.
Are you in this?
We got lots of good skits.
Psh, I'm not in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
can't be the best skit.
No.
The best skit would have us both.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
Self-bat packing.
Yeah, we're guards. We're
Bat
guards.
packing? I love how every once in a while the words just come out in
Everyone
super
gets
weird
it.
ways.
Everyone knows.
All right, Firefox,
You wanna
that
do this?
topic. Might as well move on to it.
Yeah, you should open up the source number 2 because we can check it out on the screen, and there's lots to see.
I need to find it. Huh. Here we go, got it.
The Firefox Hardware Survey, which uses telemetry supplied by the browser to assess what hardware participants are using, has revealed some surprising statistics related to GPU market share.
Yeah, so we can not see right here because this is in the way, but I'm just going to move us.
Turns out, more people, maybe.
For graphics, we've got AMD at 15%. We've got Intel at 65%. So that's the built-in graphics on your CPU that they're talking about. Integrated graphics. NVIDIA, 14%. That's 1% behind AMD. What the heck?
What? What a surprise. I mean, this isn't just people in the world. This is Firefox users who filled out the survey. Wait, did anyone actively fill this out? Is it just
Firefox hardware report? I think you have
to like opt into supplying data or whatever, right? So it's possible there's a selection bias where AMD people are just the type of people who will opt into this stuff. Doesn't seem likely to me. But
I don't
possible.
think that's necessarily what's going on. I have a main theory for this.
Ooh.
Firefox right now is this is the ethical choice of browsers. This is the underdog browser. This is the browser that not the mainstream uses.
Oh, and those are the same people as
you
Team
can
Red.
rebel and buy this browser or use this browser.
I see.
It's similar arguments to don't use the big mainstream scary guy thing that a lot of the AMD guys are making. And I think it might make sense that there are more of them on this platform. Regardless, even if that is true, this is still super cool.
Definitely.
This is good.
People, for some reason, are comparing this to uses or stats that we had from Steam's hardware survey.
TPCS is coming in with the sassy, Luke, where have you been?
This
has been the case with Firefox for years. So yeah, apparently that might actually be more true of a statement than I even expected.
So he's backing up your theory.
Yeah, I guess, indirectly.
He doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't.
We
Well,
don't
no
even know
one, no
that
one
he's a
actually
he.
knows. Yes, that's true. Yeah, I don't think anyone actually really knows, but I wouldn't be surprised if that is at least part of it.
For some reason, people are saying that this is like super at odds with the Steam hardware survey, the latest iteration of which came out in October.
Yeah.
Where the GPU market share for NVIDIA was over 80% and AMD was only 10%, and Intel integrated graphics was only like 7.5%. It's pretty obvious why these numbers are so vastly different.
Yeah.
Selection bias being you're someone who has Steam installed, so you're a gamer, so you're less likely to have integrated graphics. And if you're going to have a gaming type of GPU, it's likely going to be NVIDIA.
Surprise, surprise, most people on the internet don't have a gaming PC. They're probably using laptops even that just don't have any form of dedicated graphics, and it's all integrated on chips, and you can't even add one. Or they're using older, like Best Buy PCs that were just like home PCs that don't have graphics cards.
Even though it's like obviously a weird comparison to make, I can see why it's being made because those Steam hardware stats get cited a lot, particularly in displays. Like the fact that only 4% of Steam players have 4K monitors. Like that stat gets thrown around all the time when people are talking about how prevalent 4K monitors really are.
Yeah.
So, okay. Steam stats are popular, but they just really don't have any relevance here.
Yeah, it doesn't matter for this specific use case. And there's a lot of cheaper laptops. I don't know if necessarily right now, but at least when I worked in retail, that sold with AMD graphics. So I actually probably sold more laptops at that point in time that had AMD graphics because it was more affordable. So more people were buying them from my store. Well, I didn't own the store, but the store that I worked at.
Can we see that page again? Because it had more than just GPUs on there.
Yeah, that was an interesting part too. So it has quite a few different things. It even has operating system, which I find fascinating. Windows 7 was at 46%, which is actually pretty crazy. Windows 10 is only 34%.
That gives credence to your theory then. This is a certain type of person uses Firefox.
These are people that
Windows
intensely
7?
resisted upgrading to Windows 10.
That's crazy.
I love Windows 7.
Wow.
I stayed on Windows 7 for a long time, but the only reason why I moved off of it was because of the constant, super aggressive, annoying pressure from Windows 10. So I moved to a Windows 8.1 embedded copy.
So you goof, man, because
bug me.
I'm still on 98 and sick.
Nice.
Yeah, solitaire all day.
That's pretty legit. That's pretty cool.
All day.
After that, we've got 1% of users on Windows XP. Guys, come on. Update. Man.
Never.
What are you doing? Oh.
Those are just work computers.
8% of people on Windows 8.1 represent. That's me.
You think there's a sliver for Vista in there?
Mac
God,
OS
no.
5%. Other 6%. There's your Vista.
Yeah.
There's a few people on Vista.
Speaking of Firefox users, these people are going to be pretty pumped because Firefox Quantum is out now. Have you used this yet?
I have used it. I'm actually loving it.
Really?
Yeah.
I was thinking about taking it for a spin.
It's good.
Should I?
Yeah. I've seen people having issues. I have not personally had any issues.
Okay.
I know there's some things where people like certain specific add-ons that aren't quite on Quantum yet. Some people don't like how certain parts of the browser aren't customizable, but...
Let's talk about the core value proposition of this browser. According to Mozilla, Firefox Quantum is over twice as fast as the Firefox from just 6 months ago. Built on a completely overhauled core engine, and boasting a stylish new design, dubbed Photon UI, which streamlines a number of elements included in previous releases.
So I'm not going to lie, this marketing ticked a lot of people off, and for reasons that I understand. Do they show it here? Somewhere. They showed like 2 times faster, and then they show a comparison of Firefox Quantum versus the most recent version of Chrome. So people don't realize that they were talking about a previous version of Firefox.
Okay.
Because they show 2 times faster in big bold text, and then directly beside it, a comparison of Quantum versus Chrome.
Right, when they're meaning 2 times faster than
the previous version
their
of
own
Firefox.
product. They do say Quantum is faster to load a number of popular websites than Chrome is.
Yeah.
Including Wikipedia, Bing, no one cares, Tumblr, and Shutterstock.
No one cares. I like that.
Firefox uses around 30% less memory than Chrome, Edge, and Safari on Windows.
So there's some things going on here. One thing that I did appreciate is that in their own testing, in their own video showing load time comparisons between Quantum and Chrome, it shows Quantum winning quite often, not by 2 times. And someone in the chat says, in fairness, in the comparison video, it shows fairly equivalent speeds. If I remember correctly, Quantum wins usually, and I'm sure they cherry-picked sites to a certain degree. But I know at least one point in time, the Chrome browser did beat the Quantum browser.
In their own video.
And they included it in their own video.
That's cool.
I thought that was pretty cool. So it was a weird, like, we're going to show ourselves losing, and at the same time, we're going to do super misleading marketing. So it was like, what? So like if anyone actually watched the video at all, they would have known something was up. But yeah, it's been a delight to use it so far. I think it looks great. It's run great for me. Floatplane runs on it beautifully. Just want to put that out there.
Linus Tech Tips writer Anthony Young chimed in virtually saying Firefox users may also be more likely to be running APUs.
Yeah, so if we want to jump back slightly to that topic.
This was 6 minutes ago that he sent me that.
We can look at the processor section, which is shown to you guys good. Intel is at 88%. AMD is at 12%. I don't know what the Steam hardware survey for that is, but I wouldn't be surprised if on the Steam hardware survey, Intel was even higher.
You think? Yeah.
There were so many years where AMD wasn't putting out a new CPU, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised. But it's not like AMD is crushing the processor side of things.
Back to the Quantum thing, I was like, I should actually just check this out because I used to use Firefox like forever until Chrome came out in 2008, and I just wanted to check it out, and I liked the design. Haven't used Firefox since. I was like, I should go back to my roots here. But then I had the thought, well, it'll be like 2 weeks until Chrome's better again. They'll just make a new version. It'll be better.
I like using Firefox, and it is very fast. It's fast to the point where when using the previous, they said 6 months ago, it's 2 times faster than 6 months ago. It was notably slower. And now it's not notably slower. It's fast enough that I click on a site and it just loads.
But here's something that made me reconsider. I saw a quote from, I'm not sure if it was a CEO, but someone at Mozilla who was like, My biggest fear is that people just won't try it. I just want people to try it. And I read that and I was kind of tugged my heartstrings a bit. I was like, you know what, man? For you,
I'll try it.
I didn't yet. but I think I want to. I'm going to check it out.
Wow. I don't know if people remember, but in a lot of my older videos, I used to wear, I have two different shirts. One of them just has the Firefox logo on it, and another one says, I'm protecting the world's largest resource. And on the back, it talks about Firefox. I kind of support them a little bit.
Nice.
I even have a little Firefox plushie thing, because I used to be like, when I actually programmed things, I used to be a big fan of Firefox. And I stopped using it because it was directly interfering with my day-to-day work. Because Firefox was crashing so often or was slow and all these other issues. And I excitedly, but with a lot of fear, installed Quantum, because I was like, I really don't want this to fail me again. They are making a lot of strong claims. I'm going to give it a shot. And I gave it a strong shot. I installed all my different add-ons. I customized it, made it look exactly the way I wanted it to.
And now?
And then dove deeply in. I have it on my work computer. I have it on my home computer.
And now you're fully entangled.
It's on my phone. It's great.
You get it?
It's been awesome.
Anybody get that joke? It was a Quantum joke.
Oh!
Yes!
That is good. That is good.
Speaking of, I really hope that in the near future, these companies stop using Q or Quantum in their branding, because there's going to come a point where there are actual products with actual Quantum capabilities, and we need to be able to differentiate that.
Yes. That is actually...
you know what I mean?
I immediately thought about that when I saw the name. I was like, is it actually...
Oh, did they? Yeah, we're getting on the cusp, right? Like, huh? In what way?
Well, I thought it might be like some super wacko experimental thing that they were working on. And then I was like, oh, it's just their new browser. What? That actually was a little bit confusing. So yeah, I hear you on that one. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's cool having a browser that actually isn't made by a company that aggressively profits off of harvesting every single thing that you do in your entire life.
That's weird.
You know? Like, I don't know. Kind of down with the Firefox a little bit.
So we've been doing this for long enough, but do you want to do a couple more?
I mean, I'm down. We have been doing this long enough. What do you want to do?
There's so many exciting ones. Okay, there's some rapid fire ones.
Okay.
Apple HomePod, the big speaker. It's kind of a smart speaker from Apple. Delayed, missing out on the holiday season. This brings joy to my heart, actually. I'm actually kind of a anti-fanboy with Apple. I do respect Apple, and I think a lot of their products are pretty objectively sick. Like, they're sweet. But on the other hand, sometimes I like a little win. I like when... Because it's not that I don't like Apple. That's like a satisfying stab.
Yeah.
I don't like Apple fanboys, so I'm like a counterforce to that.
Stop. Get out of here.
You're talking about the ad, not me, right?
Yes,
okay,
yes,
great.
yes.
So, full disclosure, HomePod is a small part of Apple's revenue. It's in the other services, or in the other section.
Why do you hate Apple so much?
I don't hate Apple. I hate Apple fanboys. Apple's pretty dope.
Do you hate Android fanboys?
I hate all fanboys.
Okay.
I like objective people.
Okay.
But
so you want Apple to hurt because you dislike the people that like Apple?
No, I don't want Apple to hurt. I want Apple fanboys to hurt.
So you're hoping this doesn't really hurt their bottom line.
It won't.
But you're also like, you don't get your thing for Christmas.
Yeah, it won't hurt their bottom line because this is one of their other products, and they get like the majority of their revenue from the iPhones and their services. So that's going to be minuscule anyway. But it actually could hurt them in the future because right now these smart speakers and home implementations are really starting to gain traction, especially since Google Home Mini is out now. There's a bazillion different types of Amazon Echoes. I think they're going to be a pretty significant gift this holiday season, and
I got one for
Apple to miss that. It's going to be that hurts.
And it's hitting mainstream. And
that's what I'm saying.
My grandfather and my mom have one.
Booyah.
And that's not like me forcing it on them, be like, use this to support your son or grandson.
Yeah.
This is like, I got one from my grandpa. I believe he got one from my mom. And they both like actively use it all the time.
Well, everyone has everything these days. Like, what are you going to get someone for Christmas? So this is totally a thing.
Yeah.
Except the HomePod won't be. And notably, Google's answer to the HomePod, which is the Google Home Max, looks very similar, has similar sound, like speaker focusing capabilities. It will be on sale this holiday season. And this is just so bad for Apple, because even though Siri is the oldest virtual assistant, it is quite clearly the worst, and they just need any opportunity they can get.
It's worse than Cortana. Or are you only classifying the two? Cortana's that
No,
bad.
I was thinking of Bixby as well. Bixby's actually pretty dope.
Really?
It's probably, as a general assistant, it's probably on the level of Siri, but it has these extra capabilities that we used in our showcase video that let you navigate through apps. Like, open this app and go to settings and then change this setting. Go to my home screen, swipe right. You can't even do that with the assistant yet. And I can't wait until you can, because it's super sweet to be able to do that. Cortana, I don't know. I've actually seen videos on YouTube of people using Cortana to do these like kick-ass things in Excel, which I'd love to program macros by voice, like using Cortana. Just like can't be bothered, because it seems like such a upfront cost. But anyway, Apple needs any opportunity they can get to try to catch up in this space, and they're just not getting it. And eventually, I think it's going to be the end.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone say anything positive about Cortana, although that Excel thing does sound cool, but I haven't had it work in any form in any other way, so there's that. Or Bixby. I haven't personally used Bixby, but yeesh. That dedicated button is rough.
Well, I mean, I didn't say it's perfect. I'm just saying, like Siri is just pretty weak.
Yes. Yeah. Watching Linus try to use Siri to call someone while we were driving for lunch was hilarious.
Oh no.
It just couldn't do it. It was actually hilariously bad.
Well, the Google Assistant's not perfect either. I'm disappointed. You know what Bixby can do that Assistant doesn't seem to be able to do is chain commands. Like on Bixby, I can say
Siri can't do that? Because Google Assistant can.
My Google Home, even though I can say the command and say turn on my TV, and I can tell it to play a certain video on YouTube, I can't say turn on the TV and play the latest Vsauce video on YouTube. It'll say, I don't know how to do that. But if I say, there was one I did yesterday where
Bixby can't do that either.
Well, but Bixby can change commands. It can do things like go to Instagram and post my third latest photo with the caption blah blah blah.
Okay. Is that one long command though?
Yeah. You can say go to the settings and open and go to display settings and change the screen timeout to 10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is cool. But there was a command I issued yesterday to my Google Assistant that it was two commands, and I put them this way, and it said, I don't know how to do that. And then I rephrased it, the same commands in a different order, and then it did it.
Like, I wonder if that's part of it, because I use Google Assistant for everything, and I play specific songs with it within, like, it has to open an app and then find the specific song and whatnot all the time, which is two different steps.
Well,
open Google Play Music and play whatever song.
That's actually one, because you can't say open Google Play Music.
Yeah, I believe I can.
I know that I can't say, hey, open YouTube on Google Home. I can't say open YouTube on the TV. I have to say open YouTube and play Linus Tech Tips on the TV.
Yeah, but then I don't personally, this is what we should probably move on, but I don't personally think that's a huge point, because Bixby isn't in a home device, is it?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, so I don't know. Anyways.
Amazon Echo is coming to Canada. Linus will be so stoked. We can finally start reviewing them and stuff. Yes!
Do you know that story?
No.
We got an Echo.
Oh, you tried?
I tried.
Dude, I tried on the Fire TV. I brought it home on a weekend and stuff, and I was like, the interface, like, this is borked.
Yeah,
and I did tech support calls and all this junk, and it's like, yeah, you're just not supposed to be using that.
Yeah.
Same
Because,
thing
like,
happened to you?
you can, like, with mine, it was like, you can't use it at all. It wouldn't even allow itself to set up. So I, like, VPN'd my router so that when it connected to the Wi-Fi, it thought it was in America. And I was like, okay, cool.
Oh, okay.
And then,
Yeah.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Linus says hi.
They're going to be all salty that you're not here now.
They're salty?
Well, they're going to be.
Well, now they know that I'm on the WAN show even though you're in the building. Oh. What does it mean?
Linus is quitting video.
Someone in the chat said Linus is fired.
He's just going to drive his multiple Tesla Roadsters from now on that he drives around in his Tesla semi-truck. What were we talking about?
We're talking about Amazon.
Right, yeah, so we got one for review. I had to VPN my router to even freaking make the thing work at all, and then it couldn't do almost anything because, I mean, Canada, and it doesn't know any of the stuff for up here. And I was just like, oh, okay. And then we sent it to a person, I'm not going to say who was in America, to do a review on it and, like, write the notes for the review for us, and then we never heard from them again, and now it's gone.
Well, it's here now, and apparently it's going to speak Canadian English with a Canadian English accent.
So
You're
Eastern, then, I guess?
No, I don't. It's going to say a boot? Like, I don't know. What's the difference? What's it going to say?
I'll open that, eh?
It's going to say sorry instead of sorry.
Sorry, all right.
It's not going to say, like, I don't know. What the Americans say.
That's weird. I guess someone in the chat said Zed. That makes sense.
Yeah. It's mostly
Z.
that we pronounce O's like O's and they pronounce O's like A's a lot. Like I'm sorry. And what's another one I've been noticing?
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, it won't speak French. Yet. I don't care.
Neither do I.
Because I don't speak French. But
people in the
apparently
East
20% of our population does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Like as their main language.
It'll be coming. French will come.
I bet you more than 25% of our population can speak French. I bet you 20% of our population speaks French as their main language.
No, it's less than that actually.
Really?
I didn't put it in the notes, but I read it earlier. But this isn't actually the first country. I thought we would be maybe the second country that Echo was in, but we're not. They went to India a month ago and Japan last week, and presumably it's not English in India and Japan. Yeah. So get on it, French.
Come on.
There's going to be some deals too. The Echo is going to be 99.99 Canadian pesos instead of a regular 130. The Echo Dot is going to be $50 instead of 70, and the Echo Plus is going to be 170 instead of 200. Dare ya be? That's what it's going to say. you issued a command. It's going to execute the command and say, "Dare ya be, dare by."
If you tell it like I'm going to go hike Mount Everest, it'll be like, "Good luck, big shoots."
I've never even heard that one.
Really? Oh, okay. Anyways, WAN show's over.
Yeah.
That's it. Bye. If you want to see a cool charity stream, tune in tomorrow. I'll probably start at noon.
Are you going to be laser looking?
No.
Try it.
I will try it, but I'm not going to do it for the whole charity stream.
It.
Man, it's crazy how much it changes everything. Everything's super blue.
Yeah, that's cool, hey?
Yeah.
Daboo-dee, daboo-die.
Daboo-dee.
We should actually submit this WAN show to an editor so when you put these on at the very end, it like does a crazy effect.
It's super annoying.
Just for the people that made it to the end.
Now all these people are saying Laser Luke. Anyways, come by, check out the charity stream if you want. It's going to be awesome. I don't know what the heck Jake is trying to say, but it's fine.
I think he called me an a-hole.
He's irrelevant.
Harsh.
So it's okay.
Oh, that's the most harsh thing an influencer could say to you.
Well, I was dropping a reference back to the iDubbbz Rice Gum kind of deal.
I don't know what that is. I'm going home!
Wow. Anyways, bye. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
The charity stream, twitch.tv/Luke_LAFR. Show up, donate money to kids, or just watch.
Actually do it. It's going to be lots of cool games. Retro stuff.
Yeah. Boom. It worked!
What'd you write on that napkin that you crumpled up?
We're not announcing on this show.
Laser Luke looks at you and makes you puke.
Apparently I'm also supposed to say discord.gg/LTT. Yeah, it hasn't ended yet. We were just doing the thank you to iFixit, and thank you to Mack Weldon, and thank you to Zotac. So yeah, I guess check out that Discord. We actually have an official Discord now, so check it out. If you link your forum account, you get access right away. If you don't, I think you have to wait 24 hours or something, so link your forum account. Heck yeah, sounds good.
And use the Laser Jame emote.
Is that a thing?
Yeah!
Nice.